So we needed a conclusion for our omnibus. And this needs a statistical conclusion and a real-world conclusion. Of course, you can combine these. I just like to separate them out. So now, let's see if I can get all of this in. Where was our ANOVA? There it was. Okay. And I'm not going to be able to get it all in, am I? So a statistical conclusion would be the chance of obtaining an F of 9.77 on 2 and 27 degrees of freedom. So an F of 9.77 on 2 and 27 degrees of freedom, if the null hypothesis was true, is 0.06% of a chance. P is equal to 0.0006. This is less than our definition of sufficiently unlikely, which is 5%, or P equals 0.05. So it's very similar to the t-test conclusion that I provided you guys with, and the regression as well as the correlation. We're just very slightly tweaking the statistics that we're using. The real-world conclusion is, therefore, there is evidence that the number of misses made in a basketball game differs depending on the type of feedback a player receives in the population from which the sample was drawn. However, we do not know where this difference lies. Therefore, second stage analyses are justified. Following this, we would have the conclusion for our contrasts. And again, we would have a statistical conclusion and a real-world conclusion. So now if we go down to our contrasts, we'll just do Tukey's because that was the most appropriate test, if I can find it. There it is. The chance of obtaining a t statistic of 4.41 on 27 degrees of freedom with the Tukey's adjustment is less than 0.005% of a chance. This is less than our definition of sufficiently unlikely, which is 5%. And the real-world conclusion attached to this would be, therefore, there is evidence to suggest that, and I believe this was criticism versus praise, those who receive criticism feedback throw approximately 2.5 more misses than those who receive praise feedback in the population from which the sample was drawn. So this first contrast was specifically for praise versus criticism. I would then do this again for criticism versus no feedback, praise versus no feedback. So you need one statistical and one real-world conclusion per comparison. And again, you can combine these together if you like in some way. I separate them out just for demonstration because it makes it clearer for you as a student to see the different components of these conclusions.